We've now got a pretty good idea of how to work with JSX, so now we're going to move on to our next topic, which is dealing with lists. Showing lists of elements inside of a mobile application is super fundamental, so we're going to spend a decent amount of time on it to make sure we really understand what's going on. To get started, I'm going to first create a new component inside of my screens directory. So inside of here, I'll make a new file called listscreen.js. Then inside of here, we're going to write out a little bit of boilerplate to create a React component. So I'm going to write out import React. From React, I'll import view, text, and style sheet from React Native. I'll then create my list screen component. And for right now, I'll return a text element that just says list screen. I'll then create my style sheet. So I'll say const styles is stylesheet.create and put in an empty object for right now, and then export default list screen. Okay, so this boilerplate right here, you might even want to copy paste off and keep around because we're going to write it out many times throughout this course. So now if we just save this file, once again, we're not going to see any change on the screen of our device. To actually get this thing to show up, remember we have to import it into our app.js file and wire it up to that navigator. So I'm going to change back to the app.js file inside of my root project directory. At the top, I will import the list screen from source screens list screen, and then we will wire it up to our navigator right here. So I will say list is list screen. And then finally, I want to show that screen by default when our application first starts up, so I'm going to change components right here to list instead. Now eventually we're going to add in some ability for our users of this little application we're putting together to change between all these different screens. But for right now, we're just going to stick with this kind of strategy of using the initial route name to show different components. So eventually we'll fix this up, but for right now this is working out just fine. Okay, so I'm going to now check out my device, and yep, there we go, I've got my list screen. So now that we've got something to add some code to, let's take a quick pause and then talk about how we build lists in the next video.